Hi, Michelle. So sorry for the delay. It's been a very crazy day. So we're going to get started on your reading. I'm going to include some of the new Oracle cards that I've got. They're kind of fun for a laugh, and I definitely think you could use some lightening of your mood after everything you're dealing with. Tarot, of course, and then we'll use some of my decks, and we'll see what we can find. I apologize for the screaming kids in the background. My neighbors are out in their backyard, and it's so hot in our house because our air conditioner broke, so I have the windows open. So ignore all of that, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so let's see. We're going to start with this one. We're going to see kind of what you need to know in your current situation. What does Michelle need to know in her current situation? Slow the fuck down. Take a hint from a sloth. So these ones are definitely meant to be kind of funny. So if you've taken on a lot right now, and I feel like you probably have, because now you're going to be juggling some things, don't forget to take good care of yourself, that you might need to take a little bit of a breather. It's better than sitting around doing nothing, so meditate. So I definitely think that could be something that's needed. Finding your center, finding your peace in all of this crazy that you're dealing with. Let's see, surf the serenity. Don't just do something, sit there. So 2 cards definitely about meditating. So if that's something you already do, I feel like you need to be more mindful of your intention while you're meditating. So maybe you're focusing on future plans, maybe you're focusing on the right now, what you're dealing with. Whatever the case is, be intentional when you're meditating right now. All right, live in the sunshine, swim the sea, and drink the wild air. Get your sweet ass outside. So definitely some grounding and meditation could be needed. Let's do one more of this deck. Oh, and fuzzy slippers, peace, love, and yoga pants. So sometimes we forget that we also need to kind of take care of ourselves. So when a long-standing relationship ends, we go through a grief process, just like if we had physically lost somebody, like if they had died. So don't forget to take time to actually grieve your loss, and it may come in waves, same as normal grief, that you might come across something that reminds you of him or the kids or whatever the case is, but you can get through this. So take your time and don't rush the process. I feel like that's going to be super important. Okay, what else does Michelle need to know? Trust yourself. Listen to your internal GPS, your intuition. So really listening to that little voice, I feel like, is going to be something that not only helps you, but if it's something that you struggle with, or if you've been fighting your ego versus your intuition, that really trusting your intuition is going to help you go further. Buy the ticket, take the ride. It's all about the journey. So if you've been thinking about buying a ticket maybe to take a trip somewhere or a concert ticket, whatever it is, if you can afford to do it, then do it, because you need to start making some positive memories. Stay wild. You can't be tamed. So be the free spirit that you are. What else do we have? Damn, you're good, and when you're bad, you're even better. I feel like you're going to kind of go through a little bit of your own spiritual awakening through all this too. You're going to start to realize exactly how strong and courageous you really are, and I think that you're going to surprise yourself exactly how far you actually can go. She believed she could, so she worked her ass off, and she did. Boss babe vibes. So I think you are going to finally start making some decisions that reflect where you want to be in life. I also think that work-wise, you're going to start to maybe do some things that are creative, that you really enjoy. And I know we had talked before about you wanted to do a crystal business, and I think now would be like the opportune time for you to really see what that would take for you to get it off the ground. Whether it's, still a little bit of a wait before it's really up and running, or whether this is something that you start doing because it's now the time. Like, what is holding you back now? Nothing, right? Maybe just finances. Well, if you don't have to worry about other people's expenses, maybe you can focus that on something that you really want to do. I'm going to clean these guys up, and we're going to see what else we have going on. All right, we're going to go with tarot next. We're going to get some shuffles here. So since you didn't give me super specific, we're going to just do broad general stuff, and we're going to see what comes through. I don't have any real expectations. I know the tarot will do what it's supposed to do. It always does. And so we're going to figure out what's going on for you from now until the end of the year. So until December 31st, let's see what's going on for you. What do your next few months look like? The first 6 or 7 have been a challenge, so we know that. So let's see if things are starting to change. The other thing I will tell you is that you are not going to be the first person that goes through major dramatic changes. So it's Venus, which is the ruler of love, is going retrograde. And I believe it goes retrograde either the next few days or by next week. And so what's going to happen is it's going to bring a lot of things in relationships up to the surface so that we can either acknowledge and heal them and move past them, or that we can cut our losses and we can actually go forward solo, because we're not meant to stay in these cycles any longer. So it's Venus and Saturn, I believe, are like butting heads with each other right now. And so it's kind of these cycles that have come up before. So this could have been something that you dealt with in 2016 or 2017, I believe would have been the time frame, and that they're coming to the surface again for review. So we're going to be in this pattern for about the next 18 months before things actually are completely finished, but that a lot of people are going to either be announcing things like engagements, marriage, or endings. So whichever part of the coin people start to fall into, but it's major changes. It's not like, oh, maybe we could talk about it. It's like cut and dry. I'm done. Get the fuck out. Like it's over. Goodbye, which is what it sounds like happened. So let's see what we need to know from Michelle from now, which would be today's the 10th or 11th of July into the end of the year. So I'm going to get all your cards out. I will, of course, show them to you when I'm finished with this. All right, so let's see what we have here. Well, I already like this for you because it looks like you have good luck and good fortune coming for you after letting go of a very heavy burden. So that's how you're starting your current energy. So this is really telling me that this is a blessing in disguise, that you've carried the weight of other people's problems and burdens for far too long. And because of that, you may have neglected things that you actually wanted to do or that you actually needed to do, whether that's financial or spiritual or otherwise. But that this is karma taking control of the wheel and it's spinning good luck in your favor. So letting go of the toxicity or the heavy burdens is actually really a good thing. And earlier I had started your reading and my laptop was acting silly, so I'm starting your reading completely from scratch. But in your other reading, you had the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is about an unexpected offer. I do think that there's going to be somebody who's had their eye on you. And I do think that this person could either be younger than you or somebody who is almost got like that childlike mentality where everything's exciting, everything's fun. They could have a crush on you, and this could be somebody that you either know, or this could be somebody that's like an acquaintance of yours. You could have also maybe not even met them yet, but I feel like this person knows of you somehow. So we're looking for Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio is possible, water sign energy, and Leo. So the Sun card, this is the happiest card in the tarot. So that coupled with the Wheel of Fortune in your very first row tells me that things are greatly and drastically going to improve for you. So this is literally having the life that you want, whether that's kids in the future, the spouse that you want, partnership. It's literally having your cake and eating it too. It's the happiest card in tarot. And we're almost in Leo season. So I'd have to look that up for sure. I'm not an astrologer, but I know Leo season is after Cancer, and we're currently in Cancer. So I want to say after like the 20th or 21st of July, we would be in Cancer season. So it's coming right up, and that goes all the way through until mid-August, around the 20th or 21st of August. So I do think that potentially in the next couple of weeks that you could be meeting somebody new. I highly advise against rushing into a new relationship. I think you need to work on healing. But there's nothing saying that you can't, like, you know, have friends or go out once in a while and enjoy yourself. Just don't make it super heavy and serious if you're dating right away. You know, I would definitely give it some time. So the next thing I see is that work is going to be your primary focus, and probably out of necessity in the beginning. But I also think that this could be something where whatever you're investing your hard work and time into, that this could end up being very lucrative for you because it's also with the Wheel of Fortune. So I think if you're willing to chase after your dreams and goals right now, that you could be potentially very successful. The Knight of Pentacles is another card that indicates that travel could be possible. It could be for pleasure, it could be for work, it could be relocating, it could be moving. But this card is telling us that we're leaving what isn't serving us and we're moving into greener pastures. So you may also be like relocating, traveling, moving for a job, things like that are all possibilities. And that it's going to require a lot of strength on your part. So again, Leo energy. And so this card really tells us that you're going to see exactly what you're made of. You're going to see exactly how strong you really are, and that you are going to be tested. Now, in the current situation, clearly you've already been tested, but going forward, there could still be some more tests that you have to face until you get to where you really want to be, right? That's kind of part of the journey of life. So don't think that it's going to be easy sailing. You're still going to have some things that go on, but you are strong enough. And there is a brand new opportunity coming for your finances, a new business prospect, a new job, and it's literally a gift from the divine that brings in a lot of happiness for you. So I think that's excellent news. All right, so you have to really start looking at what you want your future to look like. What does that look like to you? Are you alone? Are you with a companion? Are you saying screw it to all men in the world and you're just like, I'm gonna go solo? What does it look like for you? You need to start having some sort of plan of what you want your future to look like, because some sort of decision is going to be required. And I think it's going to involve your work is really what it looks like so far. I don't necessarily see it in love, but we're not close to done with your reading yet, so we're going to see. So this is really telling you that you need to start looking towards your future. I think that if you are choosing to like maybe change a job, that could be very successful for you. I also think travel could be something that you're thinking about. Could be like taking a short little trip like camping or something, but it could also be long distance as well. So the reason you need to make a decision is that you're going to have to choose something. You're going to have to be able to take a leap of faith somewhere. I feel like you've partially done this, but I feel like it's not complete yet. So it's like there's something that's going to make you step out of your comfort zone that's coming up. There's also something that's a fresh opportunity, and this is part of your journey. So you are going to have to evaluate that. I seriously think that it has to do with your finances or work to some capacity, because two of the cards right next to it have to do with finances, and three in your middle row all have to do with pentacles or practical matters and money. So I do think that this is going to give you a little bit of hesitation. I think you're going to lose a little bit of sleep. You're going to worry over this. But remember how strong you actually are, and you are going to be okay. So you've got to get out of your mind. You've got to stop overthinking things and not worry so much, and just really focus on the practical stuff. If what you're doing doesn't pay the bills and you're interested in maybe going elsewhere, or you want to make a fresh start someplace else that's maybe better for you, then look into that and see if it would be something that you actually want. Because Spirit's advising you that you need balance in your life. And so this is Sagittarius energy with Temperance, but this is really indicating that not only do you need to pour into your own cup first, that's how you start to create the balance. And so I want you to start practicing things like self-care and self-love. And even if that's some simple little act like, hey, I went and got my nails done, or hey, I went and bought my favorite dinner and I'm going to watch my favorite shows, or I went and bought new crystals today because I needed the new energy. Whatever it is for you within reason, start pouring into your own cup first, because you don't want to be depleted. You already are. You've already given so much of yourself to other people who really didn't value that. And so we're starting in a deficit. So we want to fill up that bank, so to speak, fill it up to the brim so that it's overflowing and we have extra, and then we can give freely to others. So earlier I was saying in your reading that I think a new love offer is coming in. I think that this person is also maturing. So we have the Page of Goblets and the King of Goblets, which would be water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Again, I think this could be somebody that maybe you are an acquaintance of, or this could be somebody new coming into your life. But I definitely think that there is potential for a new person to come into your life. So we have that mixed with a lot of good luck and some money coming for you, and the need to maybe travel or try new things. So let's see what else we have. All right, so yeah, definitely lucrative. More money is definitely coming. I feel like this could be maybe a project that you've worked very hard towards, It could take a while to actually get it to be where it's potentially like paying your bills, things like that. But it will be absolutely worth it in the end, because it's something that you built and it's something that will help alleviate a burden, is what it looks like. All right, so here's the devil. So Capricorn energy, we're letting go of toxic cycles, codependency, addictions, things that leave you feeling stuck, trapped, or bound. Literally, the chains that bind, okay? And so that's the heavy burden that we're letting go of. And because we're letting go of it, that opens up the door for some new opportunities to take its place. Yep, new opportunities. So you have the Fool again. So really, it's like your happiness is waiting for you to take that step, you know, and it sounds like you're starting to do that. So it's not like it's a rush. Things will start to align when they're meant to, but that you need to look forward towards the future. And that the real caution with the Fool is that you always look before you leap. So typically he's seen as like the precipice of change, that he's usually teetering on the edge of a cliff, and him and his trusty little sidekick there are on this awesome epic adventure. But if he's not cautious, he could take a misstep and fall off the cliff. So really, you just want to make sure that you know who and what you're getting involved with going forward, and that you make wise decisions. So listening to your intuition is going to really help you get there. All right, so Knave of Wands. So this could be potentially fire sign energy, so Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. This is flighty energy, so a lot of like in and out. It could be kind of rebel energy. This could be somebody who's not super stable, and that could also involve things at your work. Work may also be a little bit unstable until you get things to where you want them. Work could be a little erratic for you, is what I'm picking up. This could also be a love relationship, or somebody who maybe is like a one-night stand. So we want to be careful with that energy. We don't really want that going forward, but somebody's coming in to communicate that they have some sort of news for you. All right, Wheel of Fortune twice. So I definitely think things are starting to turn around for you for the better. And I feel like you've had to be strong for so long that you've almost given up hope that things can change for the best. So don't lose hope. Definitely keep that in the forefront of your mind, that things can change. And as I say that, it's the Tower. So major changes are coming for your finances. Could be jobs that are changing. I definitely feel like that is something that could happen. And it could be a blessing in disguise. Like, not that I would wish that on anybody, but let's say you lost your job suddenly, and all of a sudden you're presented with the perfect job for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a blessing in disguise. So if you are potentially like looking for new employment, I definitely think there's big changes that are coming, and try something that you've wanted to try. For whatever reason you haven't, try it. All right, so this is about eliminating obstacles. So the Queen of Swords is very intelligent. She's also somebody who's very business focused, and the Queen of Swords is somebody who actually uses her analytical thinking, logic, in order to make wise decisions. So this is really having strong boundaries. A lot of tough love is going to be needed going forward, and I feel like that you need to really start cutting people off that don't align with where you want to be going forward, because you have to start planning for your future. You have to figure out what that looks like, and then you have to make some hard adjustments sometimes and some big changes in order to actually facilitate you being able to go forward in a new direction. All right, so again, the hard work is definitely needed, but the hard work is something that I feel like you're willing to do. So don't get caught up in like the incidental things. Don't worry about the stupid stuff in life. Like, I always have a checklist that keeps me awake, like, oh, I have to do XYZ the next day. Write it down, go the hell to bed, you know, and get your sleep. Like, don't let the anxiety or the worry about all these things overwork you, that you need to find the balance. All right, so here we have the Three of Swords. So this is about heartbreak, pain, deception, a shocking attack, and you're going to start to be able to pull the swords out of your own back. You're going to be able to start to heal. But I also feel like that this is something that you've known for a long time was kind of on the back burner, and I feel like you saw the red flags. And so for whatever reason, you know, like, we always want to think the best possible outcome. And when that's not necessarily what happens, then we have to make adjustments. So I feel like that's the period you're at right now. All right. What else does Michelle need to know for the next few months till the end of the year? Yeah, there it is. So earlier I was saying I think someone's going to come with some sort of unexpected offer. So I definitely think that that's something that's coming in for you, but it's like you had to close this painful toxic cycle first before you're energetically open to something new coming in. So again, please listen to your intuition that this is definitely something where you want to make sure you're paying attention, that you don't have any red flags, that you don't want to get involved with anybody who's toxic. You want to make sure that this person is truthful. You want to make sure that they don't have any sort of addictions, codependency, all the things from the past, right? So when you're ready and this opportunity comes in, then I definitely suggest you take it slowly and that you really kind of feel this person out slowly. All right, so we have the Ace of Pentacles. This time it came out in reverse. So be very cautious with your financial decisions going forward. I feel like you need to be cautious that you're not spending too much or that it's poor planning, especially if you're taking a leap of faith going forward. So just be cautious. Make sure you're making wise business decisions. My leg's falling asleep, sorry. All right, and you will be victorious. So it does look like if you're budgeting, if you're kind of trying to iron things out, that you're going to be successful. So this is your reward. It's like the positivity after the storm is what they're telling me. Yeah, and it's going to bring you a lot of emotional fulfillment, where I feel like that could have been something that really was lacking for a while in your past relationship, and that like you were willing to put forth the hard work, but it doesn't look like the other person was. And so this is going to be quite different, and it might really shock you. I also think that this could be somebody who is very emotionally in tune, like they have a very high emotional IQ, I think is what it's called. They're in tune with themselves. Like they know what they want. They know what they bring to the table. They're not playing any games. They're like, this is me, take it or leave it, basically. Like, hey, I like you. Do you like me? Sort of deal, you know, where it's like they're not playing any games with you. They're just very much like, this is me, I like you, let's see where it goes, sort of deal. So definitely take your time, but I do think that it looks like whoever's coming in could be somebody that's a water sign, doesn't have to be, but this person very much knows what they want and they're not like going to play games with you. There's going to be a lot of truth. There's going to be a lot of clarity, some sort of breakthrough, and that comes out with strength in the Wheel of Fortune. So I think that could have to do with finances improving, like some sort of sudden breakthrough, maybe a job change that pays a lot better, or starting your side business that maybe starts to take off, things like that. Those could all be breakthroughs. It's a lot of creative thinking as well. So if you're like artistic or you create things, I definitely think those could be beneficial for you going forward. All right, so we're leaving the conflict and chaos behind. We're moving into calmer waters, and that is a big change, but it's necessary. So lay down the swords, lay them down, leave them behind, call a truce, find peace with your ending, and go forward in a new direction. And there's your ending. So definitely Scorpio energy is about death and rebirth. So something ending so something new can be reborn out of the ashes or out of the ending. So I think that, you know, your tower moment is finding all the truth coming to light. All of the things that have happened that maybe you didn't know about are starting to be revealed, and there could still be more that comes out, especially if, you know, courts are involved. In the previous reading that I started, your first card was Justice, which is Libra energy, but it's about courts and courts intervening and things like that. And the energy in my office has been very strange for the last couple of weeks. We had a major shift not that long ago, and ever since, like, the energy is just like in your face in my readings. So they also have greatly affected like my throat chakra when there's messages where it's like it has to get out, but people don't want it to get out. So I think that there's a lot of energy that's changing, and it has to, because we've been so stuck and stagnant and complacent for so long that now things have to change or we go nowhere. All right, so Four of Pentacles. So money is improving. The hard work is going to be necessary. You may feel like you have to hoard resources for stability right now, but that's ill-advised. Just plan accordingly as best as you can. I know life is very expensive for everybody right now. But anywhere that you can like pinch pennies temporarily until things get better is definitely what's advised. So make good decisions with your money. All right, so finding your independence and your confidence is going to help you also find balance after you're healing from this heartbreak. And I think that when you realize just how strong you are and that these changes were so needed, and that you kind of deal with the pain of the loss and all that stuff, that you really will start to see things completely differently. It literally will open up a whole new world of possibilities for you. So you're completing a cycle, so that takes time. So give yourself that time. We have travel, fulfillment, a triumph over something, and celebrations. So traveling the world might also be something you're thinking about. It's also using like the World Wide Web, the internet, things like that can also be a thing. So make sure that you're trying to really work through any sort of anxiety, nightmares, overthinking, or obsessions. And again, this could be somebody that is maybe someone that you know. You also might be feeling really nostalgic about the past, so don't let that kind of give you the anxiety. Old friends could be resurfacing, as well as finding like the simple joys in life is going to be really important. So Mr. So-and-so is facing his judgment and karma. This is coming regardless of any intervention that you may or may not have involvement with from this point forward. This is something that's going to be out of your hands, and this is something that has to happen, that it is karma being dealt. So improvements underway, forgiveness, a change of perspective, a rebirth, karma being dealt, and final judgments being passed. All right, so we have some sort of rebel energy, or definitely like the sense of adventure and following your passions. Watch out for somebody who's a flirt and a hothead who isn't in it for long term. And somebody wants commitment going forward. So whether this is you or this is somebody new that's coming in, this is fire sign energy with the wands. So Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. This is stability. So this is finding the balance. This is twin flame numbers, so 1111 mirrored energy. And this is also something that I would say is really good news. So it's like family, celebrations. If you're like, there is no way I'm getting married by the end of the year, you could also be attending somebody else's wedding and celebrating with them. But definitely some sort of union or celebration with family. And it's a very positive celebration. All right, so I want to see what kind of signs, symbols, and synchronicities, and what kind of timing, and then we're going to close out your reading. All right, so what kind of signs or symbols so she'll know that she's on the right track? Throat chakra. And what was I saying? That they were affecting my throat chakra the last few days, and that this is something where I feel like communication is something that needs to happen. Your throat chakra could be being affected. You might be having some difficulties, but you need to find a way to peacefully and truthfully communicate. So your throat chakra might be a little bit affected. Twin flames, you can't make this up. So you could definitely be meeting a twin flame, or this is something where it's like a soul connection, where it brings you balance and healing. And I think you had even said you thought that this person was your twin flame or your soulmate. So this could be the energy. But remember, they're meant to teach you life's greatest lessons and to help mirror these things that are going on so that you can heal, and they will be your greatest teacher going forward. The Unalome. So this card says that the journey to enlightenment, the path isn't always straight. A lot of lessons and detours along the way. So I feel like this is part of your journey. It's something that you had to learn from this experience, even though it's painful and it really stinks. But this is something that's part of your path. It's shaping you for something in your future. The wolf. So whether you have a dog that maybe looks like one, or maybe you see a wolf, or you feel like the wolf is maybe like spirit animal energy, it's loyal guardianship, and they feel like family, so like protection energy. All right, be very careful of natural disasters over the next few months. This card has a bunch of them listed on here, but just be aware of your surroundings is really what this is. So like knowing what's going on. So we have tornado, tsunami, earthquake, hurricanes, landslides, lightning, wildfires. So watch out for any of those things. Just be cautious. And the hourglass. Remember that timing is everything. So I think that you know, the time has come for these things to change, and that's something that has to happen in order for you to really get to where you're supposed to be going forward for your future. So the big change is necessary. The totem pole. So this is about connecting all things, the human, the animal, and the supernatural. I feel like if you don't spend time in nature that you need to start, and grounding is going to be super important for you as well. And a totem pole could be something that's significant to you as well. All right, so water energy. So this is a lot of wisdom. It's also a lot of emotions. So needing to either let those flow or having like power. Like water is strong enough to cleanse, it's also strong enough to drown, right? So it's very powerful. So music could also be significant, could be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio as well. The number 7. So 7 is God's number for completion. So this card says, God rested on the 7th day and completed a cycle. It's masculine energy. I do think you have somebody new coming in, but they couldn't until the cycle was complete, the arrow. So being pulled backwards before being catapulted forward in a new direction of success. So this is your setback, meaning that your setback is where you're catapulted backwards before you're launching forwards. So definitely think that you're going in a new direction of success. So don't let the changes scare you. The dragonfly, change and self-realization. It's time to adapt and transform. Could be seeing dragonflies and the rainbow. So I love this. We end this portion with, you know, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or keeping hope alive and transitioning after the storm. So it sounds like you went through a really terrible storm, right? Well, eventually the sun comes out. So you're strong enough to weather the storm. You're strong enough to get through these obstacles. You just have to keep plugging away and going forward. All right, we're going to get you some timing since we got a lot going on here. See what's going on for you. When might this happen over the next 6 months or so? Okay, so when will her good luck come in? It's closer than you think. And when you release expectations of the how and when is when it will happen. So your good luck will come when you release expectations, but it's closer than you think. The new offer. All right, so allow things to come to you. Remember that we attract, we do not chase, and what is meant for us will simply find us. I feel like this person finds you. I don't think it's the other way around, but I could be wrong about that. I definitely think that you may already have encountered this person who's coming in with a new offer, but you may have not yet met them either. I can't talk today. You might not yet have met them either. 6 months from now, changes start to take place. We're reading for the next 6 months, right? So that's interesting. So December, January, I feel like some big changes could definitely be finalized. And 000, eternity, oneness, and endless possibilities, where it all begins. So I feel like this is the creative phase, that this is the stage where you're like planning, thinking about the future, kind of coming up with solutions to maybe living situations, job situations, and really kind of focused on where you want to be in the next 6 months. So try and stay small term goals. So like in the next month, set some goals. You know, where do you want to be in the next month? In the next 3 months, where do you want to be? And then in the next 6 months, where do you want to be? And then in the next year, where do you want to be? And start checking things off as you get there. So fall, we have fall. That could definitely be significant. September, October, November. All right, let's see what else. When are these big changes coming? Today, things begin to change. So that's current timing. So that tells me that your tower moment was the breakup. What else do we have? It's coming for you. So patience is key while spirit gets ready to deliver. So I feel like you have a new beginning that's coming, but it could take some time before you're really there. You need a break. So make rest a priority, because burnout is very real and we need to complete this cycle. 222, balance is needed. Anything that needs balance restored, it's time to try and find the balance. Could be seeing that number. Watch out, some haters are lurking and someone is watching you and what you post online. If he is not already blocked on everything, block him. Earlier today, while I was doing some other things, I was getting a little bit of a download about passwords. If you guys shared banking passwords or anything like that, change those immediately. Anything with social media, anything that's sensitive material, change it and lock him out immediately. don't take that for granted. I have seen people go through, like, their ex clears out their bank account overnight because they're pissed off and they broke up and they shared an account, right? So definitely guard yourself there. All right, your final card. When will all of these changes actually take place? 333. It's time to clear a path, keep moving forward, don't give up, and keep going. So I do feel like you have some work ahead of you, but that's okay, right? So I think the biggest thing is focus on your healing, focus on your finances, and focus on getting yourself balanced. Find some balance, find some inner peace, go through, you know, the grief stages so that you can actually end this on not good terms, like end it to where you feel good about the outcome. And I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised how things really do start to transform and turn around for you everywhere in your life, like creatively, romantically, financially. I think that you have freed yourself from a lot of toxicity and that you are going to be very successful going forward, but you need to really just keep plugging away, put one foot in front of the other going forward, and I think you're going to be just fine. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Otherwise, I look forward to hearing from you. Take care. We'll talk soon.